Welcome to the Glass Hardware Show, the podcast where we talk about real experiences, real growth, and real success in the glass and glazing industry. Today, we're joined by Sean Farrow, owner of Advanced Glass Industries, a company with more than 30 years of experience delivering residential and commercial glass solutions across South Florida. Sean has not only built impressive projects, but also strong reputation in the industry. Thank you very much for being here with us today. I mean, it's a pleasure having the Glazier of the Year with me here today. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I feel like I'm the one that's honored.
Awesome. Sean, let's start from the beginning. I mean, tell everybody who you are, where you came from, and how did you end up or got into the glass industry?
So years and years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I really didn't have much direction in life. I was relatively young. I think I was like 16, 17 years old, and odd jobs here and there, basic jobs. And I was fortunate enough to get into a company that was doing a lot of different products for just, cookie cutter houses, like Lennar back. I mean, they're still in business, but we were just doing, standard work, like small vanity mirrors. There was no such thing as frameless shower doors, when I started. It was all Alumax, or everything was framed, and that was the thing. That's all that everybody knew. So this glass company, it was like part of a building supplier. They did like shelving and wood doors, millwork and locks and stuff like that. And we just had a little gentleman I worked for. I didn't even know what, I looked at a glass cutter. I'm like, wow, what's this thing, And he took me under his wing.
That was back, what? 30 years, 20 something years ago?
That was at least 30 years ago. Yeah, it was at least 30 years ago. Yeah, and we were just doing like regular, the sheets of mirrors used to come in from Binswanger Glass, which is a big name still to this day, in stock sizes, 36, 100, 36, 120, 42, 48, and so on and so forth. I think the biggest mirror we ever did, and we just would slice them, seam them, and load them on a truck and, bring them.
But during the time you were working for that company, you got into, because that was mirrors and things like that, but you got into like shower doors, or when, you started working with clear glass, or?
Later on, it probably took about at least 10 years to start out, where the innovation of frameless applications came to light in South Florida.
But you were doing like tabletops?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of custom cutting. I was doing a lot of custom mirrors, like double, triple cuts, notches that, I seen that vision of glass, of mirror. So I kind of had, knowing how to measure out of square, out of plumb openings. I had that knowledge. It was instilled in me. And then when the frameless showers came out, that was 2002, 2003, I believe. And it was just popping off.
But you're talking about a lot of years. When did you realize that the glass trade was going to be for long-term career?
I can honestly say I never did not enjoy it. I always, every day is a new challenge, a different, like a lot of people report to a job, and every day it's the same repetitious stuff. That's why people get burnt out. For me, every day, I can't wait till Monday, because every job, every project, it's like a new job you're starting, a new client, new education, a new energy, and I'm blessed for the houses that we do and the clients that we have, because it's challenging. It's always challenging, But yeah, it never gets old. It never gets boring. Like I told you off camera earlier, I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work. Awesome. That's the mentality, and that's what keeps us going, especially at AGI,
Sean, what was that experience or that project that shaped your mindset?
I would say that after we took a regular piece of stock sheet of glass or mirror, threw it on the table, went to the job site, laid it out, measured it, and again, not just square, but out of plumb, out of level, at notches, all kinds of double, triple cuts. Seeing the vision from the start to the finish to the installation and looking at it and saying, we created that. And then the clientele extremely happy, and we've always had our vision is this, and it's kind of been our motto now, but we don't want to be our glass. We don't want it to be in the glass industry. We don't want to see acceptable glass projects. We want to see exceptional glass projects. And besides, when people can create something from a vision, like we say, imagine, design, create at our company, that's exactly the steps. People imagine it, and then we design it, and then we create it.
Yeah.
Which is, it just works out for us. I mean, it's a little, clicky, and it's, whatever, but it works out for us. And all the guys that work for us, they have the same vision, and it's a pleasure to be able to walk into the projects that we do. It's like we're humble.
Sean, and one of the things that we really want to do, or that I really want to do for the industry, is to share knowledge, to share experience, to educate the people that is now getting into the trade. And I believe or I guess that 20 years ago, everything was so different than today. What do you think about that, or do you compare years ago to today, and what are those difference for
That's
you?
a great question. So our industry, the glass industry, no matter whether it's mirrors or showers or railings, or, I mean, we're not really, we're very experienced with the commercial side, but for us, and this may hurt some people in trade feeling, it's not challenging enough. Even a 30-story building, it's all prefabbed. It's all prefabbed aluminum, glass, and you have glaziers that they call themselves, and which is cool. It's the glazing term, taking a fabricated product, hooking themselves up to a safety line, which is, admirable, but it's all being locked into a system that was designed by someone else. Ours, when it comes to custom glass, we have to take every unique opening and measure it, and measurement is the most important part. And then having good fabricators, another, goes hand in hand. But for me to answer your question, the good craftsman seems to be a dying breed, not only here in South Florida, but across the country. And the new generation of glaziers, with the influencers that are out there, that's why I'm honored to be part of this. We need to express the fact that if you're already in the glass industry, learn as much as you can about the measuring, the cutting, the installation, because that's sustaining our future, your business, my business, our wonderful trade of custom glass and hardware incorporating, because it goes hand in hand. And it's to me, yes, I post a lot of stuff that I do, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, it's to really show what people are capable of.
I totally agree with you. And going back to the question and trying to connect everything you said, which is amazing. You would say that probably the difference between those years and today is the customization. I mean, before you were able to see more custom projects than today. Today is more like standard things, or
Yep.
or what do you think? I mean,
So everybody, new development, new technologies, new materials. Back in the day, it was standard tile and drywall, and just, big baseboards were the big thing. But now we have so many different, so many different stones, so many different applications that people all across the country are seeing things online. They want, they want quartz, or they want some kind of exquisite marble or granite. And you're just seeing it where the demand for custom has significantly grown over the past couple decades. The applications where we can attach it to. Because ultimately, think about this. You take a piece of glass and we install it in a drywall frame. Now take some beautiful quartz or granite, that same opening, 36 by 80 or whatever, and take clear glass or texture glass or whatever, incorporate it with good hardware. It totally changes everything. Same opening, 36 by 84, I'm just using that as an example, but now you have all new innovative stones, and now things are incorporated with LED, and a lot of things are LED, backlit, and the stones that they have quarried over the past, 20 years, just takes the same piece of glass, but it changes it.
Everyone I speak with, or everyone that knows you, knows AGI, know your company for the quality and professionalism. And I think that the reason why I was asking you this is how you get to that point. I mean, how a glazier or a glass and glazing company could get you a point that is known for quality and professionalism.
Well, you have to decide what type of clientele, what type of projects you want to do, and kind of say no to everything else. We've talked in many conversations, where you get a phone call, you're jumping 10 miles this way for a mirror, 10 miles that way for a shower, 5 miles this way for, just whatever. So the precious time of the day, my secret or my approach is go to a mansion that has 10, 15 bedrooms, bathrooms, and approach that, and it's going to be all custom, and 10 showers in the house, 10 mirrors in the house, railings. How many jobs is that in one house? So if you got 10 bathrooms, 10 mirrors, you got 10 showers and 10 mirrors. That's 20 jobs in one house. Not to mention call them breadcrumbs, but they're not. Exterior railings, interior railings. Everything you could do, like I spoke to you earlier, if you're touching glass in this trade, no matter where you're at, glass shops, glass companies, push it to the limit. Don't get out of your comfort zone. Get out there and measure. Get out there and fabricate. Get out there and order, suggest instead of standard. Get in early. Find out, get in with the designers, the decorators before. Don't let them tell you what's going on. Get with them instead of going, oh, brush nickel, go chrome, go polish nickel, go matte black. Get in it early enough to be in the design part, so you're kind of a consultant from the beginning. So the end, you start, like the things you see me post, a lot of that, I'm asked to consult way before, and way before the house has even started renovation. And to have that luxury, I have no secret. I just did it, due diligence, got in early, decided that don't wait for them to call me. Let me suggest to them, let me create a consulting, which why not? We're consultants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about it. We are consultants. We, instead of waiting for your phone ring going, okay, we need brush nickel. Okay, we need gold, matte black, whatever. Take the step ahead and say, where's the developer? Let me speak to the homeowner, the person paying you to build the house for them. Like everybody in this trade, a lot of people, they wait for the developer to call them, or the contractor to call them. Call the contractor and say, but you have to have the personality. Thank God, I'm blessed with that. Thank God, I don't even know where I get it from. But get in early enough where you have the experience where you can talk to the designer, the homeowner, to see what those people, like the homeowner is where it starts. And
because that's the person who actually have the vision or whatever he wants to.
They have the money. They're paying for it. So they're paying developers, they're paying designers to spin off of their idea or their whatever. But ultimately, I found in this industry that the designers and the decorators, I don't want to say nothing wrong because I don't want to get jumped at the next home show, but they're just suggesting what the newest thing is in the industry, even if the homeowner doesn't necessarily like it. So why not get with the designers at the bare minimum, and not to cut off the builder. The builder's got one job: build the house. I mean, they get the money. They don't have the interest like we do, because we have to pay attention to the details of the glass, of the hardware, of the application. So why not get enough experience in the trade where the builder feels comfortable to give you the connection with the designers? So it doesn't, think about how much energy you're cutting off by not send an email to the developer about a question about the hardware or a suggestion. Just go right to the designer or the homeowner.
That requires a lot of not only knowledge, but passion and love to the industry to be part of designing, to be part of creating that end result.
Yep.
But you said something that I love what you said, which is identifying what you want to do and say no to the rest.
Say no to everything else.
That was great.
And that's even for life.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, decide what type of life you want for yourself and say no to everything else. So, I mean, that goes with business, that goes with everything. And also, and again, to express, and I hope this reaches out to the kids in high school, there is no, and this is the most important part of this podcast, there is no or very limited vocation for the glass trade. Where do you go? There's a couple online, there's a couple that people in the industry have put together.
Yeah,
there's no vocation enough in Miami, West Palm, in Arizona, anywhere to train. People have to be interested in the trade. And think about how interesting our trade is. Every single day, it's a different measurement, whether it's a 16th or 10 feet.
Yeah.
Everything cut out of square, out of plumb, whatever. And that's what we need to reach.
Yeah,
those kids.
Based on what you're saying, how long do you think realistically takes for an installer to become a real glazier, or to make their company earn the trust in the industry?
That is a gray area and a hit or miss, but like you and I have discussed in our meetings, and I think we're like-minded with this, putting a seasoned, older, more experienced person with younger potential new employees, putting that and train, especially, it takes time. There's nothing, unless you just get it like you're a genius and you could just get it and know all the facets of our glass industry, which I'm still learning every day, but for me, it's, we have to get the guys that are seasoned and experienced to the new generation of glaziers, which are coming. It's coming faster than you blink and a year goes by, 5 years goes by. In order to sustain the hardware industry and the glass industry, if you don't have people that are capable of finishing the end product, getting it installed, our industry.
But that's a huge responsibility for us in the industry, for the people who has been in the industry for years, that we really have to train this young generation. Are you liking this video? Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. Now, let's continue with the episode. What do you think needs to be true or needs to happen, a company or an industry to do that kind of things, to transfer that knowledge to young generations? I mean,
they have to have patience. They have to have understanding that you're taking the new generation that relies on everything can be ordered. I mean, we all are lazy when it comes to Amazon or whatever, but you're taking people that are, the generations are unfocused on, there's so many different facets to this, and it's whether their parents are rich, they don't have to work, whether they go to a college, education that is setting themselves up for, even if they pass a college with flying colors, there's still a cap, and you're locking yourself in versus you have to throw this in there. Yes, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 a year from an education is great, but you're stuck to that cap versus what's more important, you have to ask yourself, and that is, I'm making 500 grand a year and I'm capped and I report to a daily routine, or doing things like we do and not focused on the revenue, but
More on the,
but think about this, having an experienced life where you're well grounded enough where, and I joke around and say this, but to be able to say, I'm calling in well, I feel too good to go to work, because we built something where we're not having to report or to take the day off, call the office, you built something or you got something, and spend with your wife or your kids on the beach. That's more important than any paycheck.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So creating, like I said, it all says deciding what you want out of life or out of business and say no to everything else. Now, I want to give a shout out. There's not many people in this trade that have captivated me. And the more exposure, I'll get to the shout out in a second. The more exposure that my projects and my image, it has over the past, definitely the past several years, it has brought a lot of men and women into my realm. Some are the devil and some are angels, right? And we have to be able to decipher that. But I can tell you that in this trade, I've met a few really, really, really deserving people. You being one of them. You and I spoke many years ago, and it's my pleasure. Another shout out to Andrew Herring. Another shout out to Keith Dahlman, because these are people that are paramount in this industry that are trying to keep it sustained, that have the same vision that you and I have. And I feel that that aren't just out for the dollar, that aren't just out for, a quick, 15 minutes of fame. They want to go for the long haul, and it's honored to know you because you're young enough to keep it going for years. Me, I don't know how many more years I have in me or that I want to do it. I have dreams of selling this company and walking donkeys on farms up in the Carolina mountains very sooner than later. However, the main reason that I decided to accept your invitation is because of what you struck on. Future endeavors for future craftsmen and skilled labor in this trade. That's important because without that, we're not going to have it.
Yeah, no, it's impossible.
Your hardware isn't going to be needed. Our glass isn't going to be needed. It's going to be needed, but there's not going to be nobody to install it correctly or to accentuate it. And that would be sad.
Yeah, what we were saying, I mean, it's a huge responsibility that we have in this to keep this industry growing.
Huge responsibility. And again, the few people that are in it, you, me, the gentleman I mentioned, that do their due diligence and take time instead of, doing the podcast or doing the social media. Social media is a very big thing.
Yeah.
And that's where, me and a couple of the gentlemen I mentioned, hold that too. You as well. You're out there doing it well. And that's what we have. And I think the power of the internet, the power of social media, we're in a pioneering stage of broadcasting and getting out there what is needed. Now we'll present it. We'll tell people what's needed. We need to really, across this country, whether it's shower doors, mirrors, glazing buildings, we need to get people captivated with interests that are capable of embracing the trade.
Yeah. Sean, we were talking before, I mean, and I know we have had these conversations a lot, that we as human beings learn more from mistakes or from our failures than our own success. What do you think that could be a mistake that could damage, I mean, an installer or a glazier reputation more than probably bringing a lesson?
Well, like you and I did speak, we need mistakes to hone our skills. We need those. We need them to know what not to do again. Detrimental, unless somebody gets killed with glass, or there's the only detrimental side would be if they didn't learn from their mistakes. That would be the only damaging part. If they just kept doing the same mistakes. That would be the most damaging if they didn't learn from them. And then,
Yeah, not learning from a mistake. I mean, it's what could.
we need those. We need mistakes. Yes, we have runs of, we're doing glass, we're getting it installed, we're not, it's, even the mistakes we make in the trade, I always tell my clients a couple things, I say, when they're like, oh, it's measured wrong, or you ordered the wrong finished hardware, or, I tell them, I say, listen, I always try to make light of it. I say, well, they put erasers on pencils for a reason. People make mistakes. And then when people even freak out, that's another thing you have to learn how to approach to people. Don't be afraid. Here's another thing you and I touched on. In life, it's a movie. We're all actors in it. We're all wearing hats, uniforms. They're costumes, kind of, because even the clients, oh my God, the high-end clients, and the clients that we do, they're in the film industry, or they're just athletes or whatever. We treat them just like we're talking, and they love that. But even the customers that, you got to know how to handle all customers, or at least learn how to. Oh my God, my shower is not installed. It's not getting installed. Oh my God, you broke it. Oh, you'd mismatched it. Oh, you didn't measure right. I make a joke out of it. I say, it's not a kidney in a cooler on a medevac helicopter saving a life. It's a piece of glass. And, without being cocky, explain it to them. Make light of it if you can, if you have that personality. And they'll understand it, because it's not that pressing.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold you. The luxury about us, unless it's a hand railing or interior glass handrail, it's not going to hold up a CO. Put a shower curtain up. We'll do the AGI. We'll give them an IGT or a AGI shower curtain to hold up temporarily until their glass is ready.
Sean, what role does communication play when working with contractors or homeowners?
I would say, and I've touched on this recently, I would say that is as equally, if not more, as important than the actual hardware, the glass, the project, because in the likeliness that we're going to have an issue or a delay or a personal issue, or we just want to go to the beach that day, the communication, reply to emails, be honest, be genuine, tell them, don't leave them hanging. And you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised. We're all humans. We're all in this together. They'll understand it with an email. Tell them the glass. Tell them the hardware. Tell them, be truthful with them. And then also have the accountability of, don't use that just as a crutch, because ultimately we as professionals, we choose who we do business with. So we can't always use the fact that, oh, the hardware is delayed or the glass is screwed up, because there's other hardware manufacturers and distributors. There's other glass hardware or glass manufacturers. But if we keep using it, but at least start off the platform with, and have everybody in your sales team and your office, be honest with everybody.
Yeah.
The communication with an email can save or salvage a job. Just be honest. Even if you want to go to the beach and play volleyball, whatever, tell them that. Be honest, because that person that you're sending the email to is a human being too. And believe it or not, you'll be pleasantly surprised that they'll be understanding. But no communication is detrimental.
Awesome. Your company has worked on high-end residential and commercial projects. What separates companies that get those opportunities for those that don't?
I would say being able to meet, greet, and exceed the prospective client's expectation. Go out and hunt for those, those projects that you feel comfortable doing without saying we could do it and get it and screw it all up. Getting enough education, knowledge of the glass to be able to walk and present your company to those high-end customers. Also build yourself up on, share your projects that you do, whether it's a door and a panel or a whole house of glass. Share, make content, put it out there to make the potential clients feel comfortable that you have a brand, that you're familiar, you're familiar in the industry. Make that client or prospective client feel comfortable and obligated to use you, that you've done the work to feel confident and comfortable enough to put it out on social media, to market yourself, to show that you're worthy and able. That'll get the foot in the door to let those clients know that you're above the person that does all the work but doesn't broadcast it. There's a lot of people out there, it's a shame, that are capable, that are doing great work. They just don't take the time to take a picture, take a video, and post it on social media. Not to brag, but to educate and to help themselves. Help yourself in this trade. It's out there. There's no excuses for it, besides laziness.
Now that you're mentioning social media, Sean, what do you think about technology and how technology could or has impacted the glass installations?
Technology is one of the facets that has put us and kept us at a above average level or an exceptional level. We've taken it, we've researched what you can do with LED. Just a lot of people in the industry knows about switchable glass, whether it's the applied film or the laminated film. But talking about lamination, there is endless amounts of material that you can laminate within two pieces of glass, endless amounts. We've done leather, we've done screening, we've done stainless steel, we've done leaves, because that was the accent, that was the request from a client that came from Europe or went to Japan or wherever and said, oh, I've seen this. They're doing that in other countries. But anything, and please, let me stress, you would not believe the amount of materials that you could take and laminate it in an autoclave and do the cutouts, do the notches for the base shoe, for the shower doors, everything. And you're going to see a lot more. The stuff that you've seen on our pages and what we're showing, that's just breaking the ground. And, find better textured glass besides the industry standard. Technology is fantastic. Use it. Incorporate an LED. Before you put a piece of glass on a wall in a U-channel, put an LED strip in it. Before you put when you put your base shoe down, put some LED on it, light it up. Outside, interior, exterior.
Sean, I was about to ask you what luxury clients are looking for when they hire a glass company. But do you think that these luxury clients or projects demand for innovation? I mean, is innovation what drives this kind of projects?
If you can show a client something that they haven't seen, something that they're not aware of, something that the designers and decorators don't even have in their wheelhouse, people want stuff, especially the high-end clients, they want stuff that their friends, that something unique, something innovative. So do your research with technology. Do your research with printing on glass, the LEDs, the incorporating laminated materials with them. You're going to captivate something. Like if you go to a home store, Home Depot, or Floors and Decor or whatever, and you see everything's available, this is what's available, versus what's not available anywhere else, and surprise them with something they haven't seen, then think about one thing. If they haven't seen it anywhere, you can put a price point on it that it doesn't matter what you have into it. You did the resource, you did the research, you did the collab with the distributor or the supplier to be able to incorporate that with another product. So it's important, imperative that people think, never mind thinking outside the box, there is no such thing as the box. Let there be no box, and think like that. And technology will carry you into a realm where you get those selective clients.
Yeah, but do you think that's the only thing they're looking for? I mean, innovation, or do you think they look for something else? I mean,
They're looking for quality. The high end are looking for quality over quantity. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for craftsmanship. They're looking for somebody that's going to come in and take care of their $10,000 glass top and make sure that your mannerisms, you protect what's already in the house. They're looking for a lot of different things. They're expecting a lot of different things from professionals, and they want a professional service, and they're going to pay for that professional service, versus leaving a hardware box that we took a hinge out, leave it on the floor, or a button off a piece of mirror. Things like that will cost you a job.
yeah.
So they're looking for quality.
Sean, it's been amazing. I mean, the conversation, everything you have shared with us. Before we go to the end segment, I would like to ask you a last question. If you could go back to day one in the glass industry and give an advice to your younger version, would you do it? And if so, what would be that advice?
I would say, don't accept handouts. Don't accept easy outs. Learn from those. You need successes and failures. You need to experience those. Don't look for partners. You're never going to find, it's going to be hard to, that's because I did that. I took on other people, it never worked out. So I would have said, I would have learned from those simple few mistakes that I made, listening to other people, taking money from people, then they're in our pockets. I would have started from the beginning to being self-sustained and, growing at that pace instead of, the pace that I did grow with. Very limited mistakes though. There wouldn't
Like
be
enjoying the journey instead of like looking for
I would
shortcuts.
say, scratch everything I just said. I would say, enjoy the journey. Don't stress the small stuff. It's life, and it's a journey. Enjoy the journey. Don't take it so serious. That's what I would
Awesome.
say. That's what I would say.
Awesome. So let's jump to the last segment, which is great. There are some round fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. You just tell me a rapid answer.
Okay.
One mindset that changed your career.
Deciding what I wanted out of life and saying no to everything else.
Awesome. That was
That's the one.
yeah.
That's the one.
the biggest lesson from the failed project.
Slow down. Don't rush. It's glass. Measure 3 times, cut once.
One habit that builds long-term success.
Perseverance.
What does true success in this industry looks like?
Freedom to do what you want on your terms after you've done the legwork and paid your dues in the glass industry.
Awesome. Sean, thank you very much. Again, having you here was a pleasure speaking
my
with
pleasure.
you. And thank you. Thank you so much for being with us.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to everyone listening or watching, I thank you for being part of the Glass Hardware Show. If you found value in this episode, Follow us, share it with another glazier, and subscribe to our channel for more real conversations. We will see you in the next episode.